Oh, I get it. Why over suggestions? Why is the question of this age. So just because we are not aware there's life out there, it's just as we look at ourselves, we're not aware of what the reality is without this one, however we can think. A more realistic look of how the new reality will be portrayed will be humans being liberated. A liberated mind is stimulated to a full capacity, a maximization of the mind where dreams and lucidity become synced within one's mind. How is this absurd when we are always fanatically trying to control every possibility in our life, yet we stress? Stress, as we know, does not solve many problems, whereas if we're still calm and patient for understanding, stress as we know it is unhealthy. So if we are unhealthy in our ways of seeking our lives and understanding each other, it's entirely obnoxious to even suggest that this is the only reality and there's no other suggestible one. Simple case on this one, look at the economy. The economy is the reality. Oh, if the economy was better, there would be no money. There would be no need to struggle. There would be absolute freedom. We would see an expansion of creativity beyond our imagination. We like video games. Video games are fun. However, think of what a liberated mind would create. Poetry, back in the old ages, was one of the greatest pieces that were ever orchestrated by the mouths of many memorable poets. They're dreamers. There are dreamers now, and the time is coming to where more will spawn. But the idea, the state of mind, the state of zen, of comfortableness with this reality is heavily depleting. And what are people doing? Gun sales are going up. People are becoming more fanatic. People are stealing to survive. Look at the other pieces of the world. Besides Russia and Korea, look at the third world countries that are living in constant deprivement of food, nutrition. When we look at them, we look at their government, that's their reality. Now our reality here is purely mainstream. You look at TV and it's comfort, pure comfort. We see cereal boxes with fake happiness all over it. It should make us ill to realize how comfortable and simplistic our lives are when kids in other countries are constantly having to survive by eating whatever they can get their hands on. This is a reason to feel sorry, yes, but it's more a reason to want change, to protest, and to turn off the TV. The TV is not going to allow you or educate you in a realistic manner when it's more based on entertainment than actual acknowledgement and knowledge of humanity. Think of that word, humanity. Humanity is what we are. We are not slaves. And if you disagree with this, quit your job and find out what will happen. You will lose your home. If you don't work, you will lose your home. Where is it even a logical chance in questioning that? And if you don't pay the IRS, guess what happens? Yeah. So consider, if you're not free, though you're told you're free,
can you live freely? Can you speak freely?
Can you protest freely? When now protesting is quoted as terrorism, basically, supporting Al-Qaeda. Now, we look back at civil rights movements. Terrorism? That wasn't even a possible conjuration within all the infinite possibilities in creation to be thought of or even portrayed back then. But look at now. The economy is falling. You'd have to be pretty low to not want to protest when the economy is falling. So, the whole variations that are expressed by the media, by our politics, if we so choose to truly believe them, then we are supporting a fallen economy. Car companies are going bankrupt. Is that suggestible enough? Have you heard that banks are going bankrupt? What about the bailouts? What about the healthcare plans? Why healthcare when Tai Chi, marijuana, and other very simplistic practices can entirely help the body? You might ask, is there a cure for cancer? Where does cancer stand? Cancer? In nature, there is no cancer. There is no lethal manipulation of the genes, a mutation of the body that destroys the body on an unnatural level. Cancer, AIDS, you name it, are all government made, all government supported. You look for, is that not cancerous enough? And who is it supported by? Military, is that not cancerous enough? And who supports it? Look at healthcare. Now look at the companies that run it and are making so much money, and what contribute are they providing for the world? Is that not cancerous enough? If you don't have the pharmaceutical companies, then there are no big businesses who reap millions, billions a year. Various medications cost a few cents to make, if they are sold thousands of times more they're worth. So we look at the big picture. The big picture does exist. Reality is not the big picture. Government's not even the big picture. It's humanity's way of trying to control and manipulate nature. The government's completely aware of this, and that is why they take every action possible to make our lives quite miserable. If you think that life is getting better, then go to the gas station. Oh, go buy some groceries. There's some sales, right? Not really. Look at your health care. And if you quit your job, you lose your home or possibly die because of homeless shelters now charging, or possibly going to be charging rent soon, which will make even homeless people that much more homeless and that much more difficulty upon their lives. And people will suffer around you. Yet there's no insurance for suffering. There is no insurance for support when a loved one dies and the government tosses a few K's towards your way to help you out, even help out with funeral expenses. No. So look at the Iraq War. Obama said the Iraq War would end. Has the Iraq War ended? No. Are the troops coming home? No. Is the Iraq War being funded? Yes. Or are jobs being shipped out of the United States? Yes. To those who really aren't clicking with this, walk outside and look at your car. Do you realize that every single piece of your car is meant to go wrong at some point and you have to replace the parts? You also realize that the gasoline that your car burns is unhealthy for the world? Do you not realize you get a tan or sunburn a little bit faster? Do you think the sun's going to eventually just cool down? You might realize that 10 to 15 years ago, the sun used to be yellow. The sun's white. Not to mention, you got so many health issues now. There's more health issues now than ever recorded in America's history. Besides the inability back in the day, of not being able to cure the simplistic things. You're like it's infected, you're pretty much screwed. Whereas now, yes, technology's better. Yeah, the healthcare system, as far as doctors and all that, it is better. However, if you go to the emergency room, the ambulance bill is going to be approximately $500 to $800, wherever you might be. Okay, that's just a little bit of gasoline. That's just some people doing their job. That's like, I'll get on to the rest in a second with doctors and all that. That's like me going to McDonald's and saying, I want a Big Mac. The employee making the sandwich decides to charge me for effort in making the sandwich, walk around a bit, and then serving me the sandwich, and then charge me $100, $200. That. Seriously, they are simply getting in a car and picking you up. It's like a taxi. It's like, I mean, it'd almost be realistic. Bump the paramedics, get a taxi, and tell the taxi, look, I need help. Drive me to the hospital, but don't speed out. Police officer, pulls you over, you're gonna be screwed. As it is, police officers are pulling over paramedics. You get the doctors, in the emergency